I have to start with a couple of disclaimers. First, the setup doesn't deal with all applications of granular synthesis. The way it is set up, it can only get random points of the source sample to get grains from. It doesn't play the grains in order or backwards. Having said that, Shortcircuit allows us to do a lot in that respect, as you will see. So it's not like whatever you're thinking is impossible, at least depending on how resourceful is your DAW. Secondly, speaking of DAWs, this setup uses a set piece only available in Reaper. However, all you need is a way to turn one held note into multiple best playing notes. Maybe there's already a VST plugin online that does that, but I never looked into it. Now, on to the subject matter. A couple of days ago, I had a falling out with my former favorite, or rather only, granular, granular synth instrument, Polygas. It has excellent features and sounds great when it works. When it locked me out of several projects because it decided it didn't want to load it back and crashed Reaper in the process, I knew I had to end our relationship. But that left a big hole in my plugin library, since there is no other granular synth that's good as an instrument. Well, maybe except for one that's for Helion Sonic SE, which right now is a bit too much for just one synth I need. I finally decided that I had to do it with what I had, and thankfully I did have a very capable sampler in Vamble Audio's Shortcircuit. So the idea now is to abuse Shortcircuit to do my bidding. But how? Let's check it out. So this is Shortcircuit. I've loaded here to use as a source my best General Pepper impression.
That area is an oven. Don't go burning that wing. Be reasonable, Fox.
Not well recorded, but well, I'm using my laptop microphone, so I guess that's it. So what what we want to do? A granular synthesizer is one that plays the sample in very tiny chunks in succession. So it plays, several times. Um, how am I gonna say? Very quickly. These tiny chunks, we call it grains. So my personal idea, what I wanted to do with it was to pick a grain. Each grain would be from a random spot in this sample. So we could play a grain from here,
Here's an
and then one from here, and then from here,
over.
randomly. So what can Shortcircuit do? It is able to pick a random spot on the sample using the modulation routing. So we choose here zone start. Zone is the part of the sample that will play every time. So for example, the zone is now this.
Areas.
This is what it plays. So when we manipulate the zone start, we manipulate the starting point. And turns out there, uh, there is a random value. That random value is assigned every time we play a note. So let's put it to 100%. Yeah, close enough.
Reasonable. Don't win. There's no win.
So every time we play a note, it picks a random spot. Okay, great. Now, how do we work with grains? Well, turns out Shortcircuit, as you may have it, is not a granular synth, but it has a an amplitude envelope which we could use as grains. So we could manipulate here to make things like grain size. So let's turn down the sustain to 0 and play a little bit with the release.
reasonable fox. Reasonable fox. That go burning is an open area fox.
It doesn't seem to have. Oh, okay. I think that's it. The decay is useful
Don't
too.
go burning. We don't go reasonable fox.
Yeah, it turns out it was the decay I needed to play with. Okay, so now we play. Yeah, we're getting close to what we wanted to do, but there is something. There is one thing that it's left to do, and that is I'm currently playing with my own hand, which is not exactly what I want. I want to hold a note and it will start playing the grains in that manner. So what I decided to do was to use Reaper's functionality. So it has MIDI. What was the name again? Okay, MIDI note repeater. And here that is a limitation. It only plays based on the BPM, but the result is good enough at least for now. Maybe we could use another plugin or something, but this one is good enough for my purposes right now. So let's see what we get. Yeah, Granular enough, right? So that's basically the whole idea. Now, you might be thinking, okay, great, so we can pick a random spot, but what if I wanted to play the sample? What if I wanted to do something else with the you know the spots where you pick the grains? What if we wanted to play straight but in a different speed or something? Well, then I advise you to play with modulation routing because here here you can do anything you want. Okay, not really, but here is where you gotta look at. You got a ton of options. So let's see, for example, let us choose mod wheel. I don't have a MIDI keyboard, but I do have Reaper, so mod wheel here. Let's see if it's everything. Okay. So for example,
That area is unopened. Don't go burning that up.
and stuff like that. Hmm. Oh yeah, of course. I forgot something else. Shortcircuit is a sampler, so you can. Let me go back to random. You can realistically play, it as an instrument. So, for example, so if you pick for example, a guitar chord or maybe a one shot of any instrument, you could use it as an instrument. So you can actually play music. That was my original purpose when I tried to make this. So that's basically it. You gotta use your imagination to help you do what you want. But what I wanted was to do this, and that's basically what I got. So I hope that helps you, and let's get to work right now. Thank you.